A tale told since time immemorial, before the timelines collided, before the tournament heard across the multiverse, before everything, there were three. They reigned supreme as the pinnacle of creation. They ruled throughout the heavens and earth before the age of the angels. They were the triangle of chaos, honor, and illumination. This is a story between the three noble children of Shinto legend. This is the tale of Dragon Ball Universe Beyond. The last Shinto gods of duality were known as Izanagi, the god of creation, and Izanami, the goddess of death. These were the parents to the firstborn and most revered goddess in Japanese history. Her name was Amaterasu. This wasn't a normal birth, as many would assume. Just like the rest of the noble children, Amaterasu was born from her father's divine tears alone. Since she was born this way, she is classified as a specific kind of deity. She was known as an Empyrean. Though she was a goddess born from a single god, she wasn't as powerful as her brothers. At least when it came to the physical might, the deity was expected. But she made up this gap between them with her overwhelming divinity, illumination, and guidance. They revered her so much that her influence and divinity became boundless, warming the land far and wide like a giant star. So, that's exactly what she became. In order to exemplify her radiance and divine power, it was said, from that moment forward, she would be known as Amaterasu, the goddess of the sun, and the queen of upper heaven, also known as Takamagahara. The second born from Izanagi, and the first son of creation, was none other than Tsukiyomi, the king of the full moon. Though being the second born, he wasn't as powerful as his sister when it comes to energy output, and he wasn't as strong physically as his brother either. So how can he be called the king if he's not the strongest in either category? Well, it's actually quite simple. It's his superior intellect and mentality. Even as a young deity, he would be tasked with solving the more complex problems, despite any of the experience from his divine peers. His intellect is so prominent and drastically significant, he can potentially challenge one of the three outer gods that created the universe. And that's just off his intellect alone. He once said these famous words before he was sealed away.
You cannot find anyone more honorable than me. I am the king. In your eyes, tell me, what makes me the king? Is it my overwhelming intellect and knowledge on all subjects, no matter how random or obscure? Even my siblings can tell you that. But what makes me the king is that said fact, and so much more. No matter how much blood, sweat, and tears I show you, I'll never drop to my knees for anything or anyone. I will remain unbowed. I do not bow. I am the king of the full moon.
The prodigal one, or better known as Susanoo, the last son of creation. Being the last child is never easy for anyone, and his story was no different. Lacking the elegance and divinity like his sister, and not being as smart as his brother, made things very difficult for the young deity. But that didn't change his impact, that he would leave in the universe. Susanoo was a trickster god to a degree, playing jokes, and not really taking the other gods seriously. But he was known to throw thunderous fits and burst into an unstoppable force of nature. The natural calamity. That's exactly who he was anyways. He was known as Susanoo, the god of the storms on earth, before the reincarnation of his mother and father. At the time, Susanoo was physically the most powerful swordsman and martial artist in the realms of the gods. But even with that acknowledgement, It wasn't enough to make Izanagi proud of his last son. His son had almost teared apart Takamagahara and the earth due to the fact his sister was more praised and important to their father than he was. It got him kicked out of heaven, down to a long journey of redemption and honor that he had to bring back to his name. But with the end of the tournament, even after all this time, this trio was bound to align once again. They say history is bound to repeat itself. And while that may be true, in the JJL universe, anything is possible, especially for these three. Though this may differ from what you expect, it is the tale of legends we will watch unfold. Now, reunited with their parents after so very long, to take on a new role in this universe, well, I don't want to spoil it. Just know, it goes well beyond this universe.